Hello everybody, and I hope this video is finding you well. We are going to start our first clinic video series, so this is going to kick it all off. We just kind of an update about how everything's going to go from now on with COVID-19 and what our plans are for our clinic and pageant. So our clinic has been, we've canceled the clinic, and so these are going to make up for the clinic, and every video is going to be a different section of the study guide. And our pageant, we're just going to play it by whenever the fairgrounds open back up. And so we're really hoping that that's April 30th. Our fingers are crossed. We don't have a date set for the pageant yet, and we don't know if we're going to do it in the beginning of the summer like we usually do, or if we're going to actually move it to the end of the summer. But we're going to keep everything we're going to keep you guys updated. I know it's kind of crazy times and everything, but yeah. Second on the list, so applications will be open tonight. They'll open up, and that way you guys can start looking at them. The sooner you get your application in, the sooner you can get a speech topic when I figure out what the speech topic is going to be. I'll also make a video on an application workshop so that you guys know how to fill out an application, what judges are looking for, what coordinators are looking for, and this can just apply to really anybody. I mean, rodeo queen applications are, I would say, pretty daunting, so this is just available for you guys, even if you're not trying out for Arapahoe, trying out for maybe Elizabeth or Douglas, like, this will be helpful for anything. Okay, so there was a post on Facebook last night. We have uploaded our clinic study guide that was going to be used during the clinic onto our website, and I linked the page on the Facebook post. However, if you didn't find it, all you have to do is go to ArapahoeRodeoRoyalty.com. Go to pageant information, scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's a section on video clinics. There's a link to the YouTube page where these videos are posted, and then there's also a link to view or download the PDF format of the study guide. Mine looks a little bit different because mine's the master copy, but I highly recommend you download those, because I'm just going to be following along on these videos. Each video is going to be just a page from that study guide. So there's going to be quite a few videos. Okay, so we're going to start, and if you're following along on the study guide, the first page is what to expect in the queen scene. So I kind of just want the premise around this is rodeo queening is a completely different world from rodeo, and it's a completely different world from everyday life. I mean, you can read the little paragraph in the top. I mean, it is, once you are a queen and when you're trying out for a queen and all this stuff, it is just a crazy world. So I wanted to start off with giving you guys a little bit of insight on what being a rodeo queen is, so that way you're not trying out for a title and thinking, oh, this isn't what I expected, because that would be such a bummer, because it's honestly one of the greatest jobs you can ever do. So being a rodeo queen means being flexible to change. Everything is changing around you all the time. Plans change. I mean, even this COVID-19 thing, it is just a prime example about how things change, and they change quickly. So you have to be flexible to that. I also want to say that there will be girls of all levels in the royalty world. When I first started, I was 16, and I was a new rodeo queen. It was my very first title, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I was one of the novices. But when I went to rodeos, there were girls who knew exactly what they were doing. This was their 5th title. They've been doing this since they were 12 years old, or even 9 or 10 years old with the junior princess titles. And they knew what they were doing. And I just sat there and was so dumbfounded, I guess, by how much they knew. So just remember that there's going to be people of all levels in this world, and for you to compare yourself to one queen over the next isn't right, because you are your own person. But on the other hand, it is your job to stand out of all these girls. You know, when you look in a crowd of 13 rodeo queens, when you go to National Western Stock Show, when you see us all parading around, you want to be the one that stands out. But also in that, stay true to yourself and create your own path going forward. This is going to be your experience. This is going to be your knowledge that you obtain. It's going to be what you make it, so make it your own. So there was a couple things that was going to be gone over, especially for Arapaho. Common duties of a rodeo queen. So you can actually find these in the handbook, and let me pull that out really quick just to show you all what it looks like. The handbook is a really, really good thing to, I don't think I have ours. It's a really good thing to have because typically you're going to be tested on that. And you really need to know what you're tested on. But some common duties of a rodeo queen, and usually they're listed in your program's handbook. But for Arapaho, you're expected to attend community events. You're expected to attend rodeos throughout the summer. You carry a flag in rodeos. You do hot laps in rodeos. You do crowd engagement in rodeos. Lots of kids stuff, so if you don't like kids, this job is probably not for you. But yeah, those are some of the common duties, and I'm sure most of you, if you're trying out for a rodeo queen, you've seen a rodeo queen, you know what this is. If not, when you go to your rodeos, try and find those rodeo queens. They're always working, and they're always doing something. Try and find them, sit down with them, ask them what they're doing. They're going to talk to you. It's their job, and they love to talk about what they're doing, so ask them. The next thing that was going to be talked about is what an average year looks like for a rodeo queen, and specifically for our program. So let me just pull out that sheet really quick and we can go over that, because I feel like it's really important to know what your schedule looks like as a rodeo queen and what your schedule looks like for the program. Are you expected to attend 2 events? Are you expected to attend 6 events? So for Arapaho, you're expected to attend quite a few events. We are busy January through December, essentially. You can essentially do an event every single month, or 3 events every single month. I will post the tentative event schedule on the website it'll probably be under clinic information, and we'll all make a part, but I will post that so that you guys can all see it. But it is super duper important to look at that and look at what Arapaho you're required to do, so that you can, when you're trying out, you can block that off. You can block that whole year off, because when I was a queen, I blocked my whole year off. I barely fit my gymnastics in there, and I fit school in there, obviously, but I didn't really have time for anything else. I didn't do stuff on the weekends. It was queening, but it was one of the best years of my life. So, going down to the page, we'll see that there are 3 blanks. And the first one is, what are your strengths? If you're following along with the study guide, or even if you're not, I'd like you to reflect on your strengths. What are your strengths? What do you feel you are good at? What do you think that people recognize about you? You know, for me, it was, I'm organized. Everything is in a certain place. I'm also, a leader, a natural leader. I love stepping up and taking control. So those are some of my strengths. Then the next one is, what are your weaknesses? I really want you guys to think about this, because you should know your weaknesses in order to better on your weaknesses. Maybe your weaknesses are public speaking. Maybe you hate talking in front of crowds. Maybe your weaknesses are studying. Maybe you cannot study for the life of you, and that is the one thing you need to work on. Recognize your weaknesses and recognize that there's something that you should work on. The last blank or free answer spot is, how do you want people to see you? I think this is important because as a rodeo queen, you are front of the line. You are ambassadors for the sport of rodeo, the Western way of life, agriculture. You are the people that talk to the common people and bring them into rodeo. There are people who have no idea what rodeo are, and you are the one that goes in and, kind of brings them all in, explains them, educates them. Who are you, and who do you want people to see you? Do you want somebody to come up to you and meet you and you be the friendliest person? Or maybe you're smart. Maybe you're the rodeo queen that has all the answers to all of the questions. I really want you guys to reflect on that and how do you want people to see you? Really reflect on that. That is something that I took away hugely as a rodeo queen. I wanted people to see me as the best rodeo queen I could be, as someone who is knowledgeable, a great ambassador for the sport of rodeo. So really, really, really reflect upon that. The last thing we're going to go over on this page is a little blip at the bottom, and it's 35 things they didn't tell you about rodeo queening. You guys can read all 35. It was I put these together as on my rodeo queen year, and I actually, every single thing I learned that was not taught to me in a clinic, I wrote it down. So I'm just gonna touch on my favorite ones, and then we'll wrap up this video and we'll be done with this video. My first one is number 1 that I want to go over. You don't need a lot of makeup to look pretty. And we'll go over this in, I believe it's the next video, hair and makeup. But you don't need to be full cake face, full Miss Rodeo America, blinged out makeup to be a rodeo queen. A lot of people think you do, and in pageants and clinics it's really stressed that, but I don't think you do. I think that you can pull off natural beauty, and if that's who you are, that's who you are. Again, it's going back to the question, how do you want people to see you? The next one I wanted to reflect on is number 3. Someone is always watching you. I think this is really commonly said, but I think people take it in a different direction. I think you have to remember that you are the face of your program. Currently, our queen is Katrina Wright. She is a great ambassador, and our princess is Callie Ryan, who is also an amazing ambassador. And they both, excuse me while I'm trying to find the words here. Even when they're not queening, they are still in queen stuff. People still know their names. People still know who they are, especially in your county. You get to become friends with a lot of people, and you go to the grocery store and you see them in the grocery store. So remember that someone's always watching you, and everything you do can come back and bite you in the butt. Just remember that. The next one I want to reflect on is number 7. Your horse will not always be perfect. I learned this one the hard way. I have a thoroughbred off the track. She's a mare, so all of those combined are just a recipe for disaster. One of my pageants that I tried out for, she was horrendous, and it did not go the way I want. And every rodeo after that was just, something always didn't go right. But just remember, your horses are like you. They're not perfect. You cannot expect them to be perfect. So remember that when you're at a rodeo and nothing's going right for you. The next one is number 15. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone. I think this is important because you should be willing to go talk to that person you don't want to talk to. Or it's stock show. When you guys are at stock show, there will be so many jobs that you get to do, but some of them are crazy. You look at Priscilla and you're like, are you sure you want me to do that? But they're so much fun. So be willing to step out of your comfort zone and be willing to do the things that you wouldn't typically do. Number 23 is the next one I want to go over, and it's a learning experience. I'm 20 years old and trying out for Miss Rodeo Colorado eventually and still finding out that I don't know everything. And I'm not going to know everything because there's always something changing and there's always something to learn from this job. The second to last one I want to go over is 31. It's a hard job. You basically give up a year of your life. And I don't want to say that as in, like, say goodbye to your life. You give up a year because it is a year of commitment and it is a year of work and you don't really get to slack off, but it is so much fun and it is so worth it. The skills that I have obtained, and I bet you Katrina and Callie can tell you the same thing. The skills that we have attained from this job are just life skills, and they're skills that are going to take me and take you guys throughout life. The last one I want to go over is number 34, and it's learn to love it. There were a bunch of times during my reign and even as a coordinator where things did not go the way I wanted them to go, or I wanted to quit in that very, very moment. But you have to learn to love it. You have to learn that that trial or that tribulation is something that's going to make you stronger, something that's going to make you a better rodeo queen. And the last one is 35, have fun. Just make this an experience. If you get the title, if you don't, pageants, you learn so much from the pageant. So just as a wrap up, I'm hoping that you guys learned something from this page. You know, I'll throw in little extras here and there. Look forward to a video every day or every 2 days. I'm going to try and knock these out really quickly while you guys are all at home and staying safe. I know that this is kind of difficult to sit here and watch videos of me talk, but I'm really hoping that with these worksheets they'll be interactive. The other thing that I want to say before I end this video is I encourage you all to stay home. I know Colorado just put a stay-at-home order in place. Just make sure you guys are staying home and staying healthy, not just for you guys, but for the at-risk community. Make sure you're doing your part to stop the spread. So, thank you guys for watching. Look forward to our next video, which will be hair and makeup.